Man, what am I doing with my life? I need to lock in. I need to get my life together. What's the time? Well, I guess I'll start from tomorrow. I wasted half a day anyway. Let me just watch one more reel. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video, so I am kind of nervous, but anywho, nice to meet you all. As you can guess from the title, we'll be speaking about locking in today. It's ironic because I kind of had to lock in to yap about locking in. But anyway, well, what is locking in? Well, it's a term generally used to describe a moment where a person shifts their full focus, energy, and attention towards one thing to achieve it. Kind of like this video. For example, let's say you've got a test tomorrow. You'd lock in to study all night to pass the said test. But is there anything necessarily wrong with locking in? Not really, but the only issue is it's a temporary solution. It's like the motivation high. You cannot stay locked in for a longer period of time without battling through with your mind. It only works if your task is to pull an all-nighter, and even then, the results end up being disappointing. It's almost like it was always set for failure. People that do get results in the long term don't just do it by simply just staying locked in or in that motivation drive. They put in other forms of discipline. Like, it all begins with a motivating video where you feel like you can have that life. You lock in to have that life, but end up giving up merely a few days in, if you happen to start at all, because it becomes exhausting to constantly stay in the grind. The reason why this happens is because you're not enjoying what you're doing. The grind feels punishing, not rewarding. Now, obviously, not everything in life is going to be easy, but it shouldn't feel like you're forcing yourself either. Like, it shouldn't feel like a punishment. After all, you're human. If you don't treat yourself kindly, who will? Honestly speaking, I've been stuck in this cycle for a while now and came to the realization that locking in isn't going to work if your goals are long-term and permanent. It's sort of like expecting to reach the end in a marathon by just running fast for like 5 minutes. It isn't going to work because you've only run fast for the first 5 minutes. What are you going to do for the rest of the track that you have to finish? And I know everyone probably wants a solution to this, and trust me, while watching those self-improvement videos, I hated hearing this word. But the simple solution is genuinely just consistency, just not giving up. It's really that simple. Even doing one thing every day towards your goal will yield in better results. It's like growing a tree or a plant, sort of, watering it by pouring 1,000 liters or 100 gallons or whatever form of metric or form of measuring system you use in one day isn't going to sustain it. But pouring even just 100 milliliters or just a few ounces every day will keep it alive. But how exactly does one even stay consistent? It's a word everyone throws around, but no one really elaborates it further. So I'm sort of here to do that, I guess. First of all, you have to remove the everything will be perfect mindset, because I'm 100% sure that you are thinking, oh yes, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, exercise, study, blah blah blah, and do it consistently for the entirety of my life to reach my goals. But what people fail to realize is life isn't perfect. Hell, it's hardly even fair. You can say this today that you'll be consistent from tomorrow onwards every day, but then you wake up late the next day and give up because you messed your day up, when you can literally have the chance to start right now. I want to give an example using exercise. Say you want to build muscle or lose fat or just get fit in any way you desire. You cannot do that if you just keep on delaying it and waiting for the perfect day to arrive. Who cares if you woke up at 1 in the afternoon? Getting 10 minutes of exercise is better than getting none. The same amount of time you spend contemplating your decisions, thinking about how you ruined the day, can literally be used to start the task you were supposed to do. Like, even if it's just 10 minutes or 5 minutes, hell, even a minute is good enough, because a minute spent doing your task is a minute spent less on contemplating and procrastinating. You just have to do it. Push yourself to do it. That is when you, quote unquote, truly lock in. You don't lock in to reach your goals, you lock in to stay consistent in reaching your goals. But this isn't the reason why I'm making this video. I'm not doing it to just spew the same BS that has been told by many self-improvement channels. Truth be told, locking in to even just start is hard, especially if you're someone that's neurodivergent and have ADHD or any other issues mentally. You cannot be focused enough or care enough to lock in, no matter how much you want it, because it's a huge mental restraint. And at that point, it becomes a self-destructive method. A person with ADHD or depression or any other struggles mentally already has difficulty being productive. Procrastination is genuinely a huge hurdle to get over, since it's the brain that genuinely stops you from doing so. They feel bad because they're not being productive, but they're not being productive because they feel bad. It's like a never endless cycle, you know? And the concept of just trying to lock in is just a mockery to their face, because everyone seems to be locking in. Why not me? If you have this mindset, I really want to say you are not alone. Matter of fact, the ones who succeed in locking in to get their life together establish other disciplinary methods than just motivation and willpower. Now, I am not a licensed doctor, so I cannot really give the legal and professional advice, but there have been some things that I've personally done to help me better focus on my goals. First one being to just accept that not every day is going to be perfect. Just accept the fact that I'm not truly capable of a sudden change. Just accept my procrastination, my excuses. I do not have a strong willpower. I give up easily. This mindset really helped me, because accepting those flaws made me set realistic goals for myself, which I can achieve instead of giving up. It isn't pleasant admitting your own flaws, but the minute you accept them and know your limitations, you can start working on them one by one. Change is slow. If you rush it, you'll crack down. Second one, I didn't set a time limit for myself. Setting a time limit only works because I guess there's this thing called the Parkinson's law, but I think it only adds unnecessary pressure for folks like me, which makes me burn out and eventually give up and stop achieving what I was trying to do. However, in cases such as exams and assignment deadlines, you can't really avoid it. So except for such cases, the other goals I have don't really have a time limit. Say if you have an exam a week from now on, or even tomorrow, start now and complete as much as you can. But be realistic, because you're not going to score a perfect 100 out of 100 or A+. Because let's be real smart people who score that high don't study the night before. Your grades are not going to be perfect, but that doesn't mean you should give up. Getting half the grade is better than just getting even lesser or even failing all because you didn't study. Getting over this giving up mindset is really hard at first. You're going to struggle quite a bit because your mind will you each and every step. Because it is you. It will give you the perfect excuse every time because it knows you. But the only limit is you right now. If you are able to overcome yourself first, you can take the rest of the world on. I do want to say the constant battle isn't going to stop once you win over yourself, because life and circumstances won't always be in your favor. The important thing is you getting back up again. Getting up back again will be difficult, and staying on the ground feels comforting. but you're just gonna be stuck in the same place if you do not move. This is something I've experienced quite a lot. It's really difficult and challenging mentally if you do not have meds or therapist, but if you do, it should make it less challenging. I didn't have one, and it was really tough and difficult, but I ended up doing it all by myself because, truth be told, you can only rely on yourself to pick yourself back up again. That being said, if you can afford therapy and meds, I really recommend you to do so. It's very helpful. I couldn't, which is why I had to establish self-control, actively trying to fight my own brain. I still struggle and lose, but I haven't given up. Third one, I set lower expectations for myself, which means less pressure and more likely that I am able to finish and reach that small goal, which gives me motivation to complete further. Think of reaching your goals as an hobby. You obviously cannot jump high and expect that you reach the end. You'll just end up falling down. Finishing one thing at a time and celebrating small goals is the way to go. The progress you make will be slow, but it's better than just jumping high to try and reach the goals, but constantly falling down off the edge and respawning at the same place you started. These are small, but the things that helped me change my mindset. I am still in the process of achieving my goals, but I've made significant progress than I ever did. I know there's so many people that struggle. It isn't going to be easy at all. You cannot expect everything to be a cakewalk when your goal is equivalent to climbing Mount Everest. Because nothing is easy, but don't ever give up. Even if you fall back down, just rest there for a bit, but don't crawl backward. In short, the cycle is endless and is punishing. Breaking out of it is hard when all social media does is glorify it further. But if you're someone that's struggling right now due to it, you're not alone. There's many of us that are just as lost, and although this video has the same tone as other self-improvement channels, I really hope this doesn't sound as punishing and extreme. I just want to remind everyone the fact that they're humans and not machines to work with a set of instructions. You decide your own fate. And I genuinely hope that anyone that views this video takes this as just information they can work with and not as plain instructions, because at the end of the day, the struggles we face are all different. That is all I have to say on this. It's just my opinion, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I really meant the last part what I said. Just take this as information, not plain instructions, and I wish you all the best.